Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. The Legion of Boom has officially excommunicated the Duke of Earl Thomas Perna. Ravens safety Earl Thomas made an announcement on his social media accounts last night that TMZ was going to break a story about a domestic incident between him and his wife that occurred April 13th in Austin, Texas.
So my agent just hit me and said that I'm going to be on TMZ tomorrow from an altercation that happened with me and Nina. So just wanted to get ahead of it. And I mean, it's really not anybody's business. It's pissing me off that it got out, but it's the world we live in today. But instead of talking about us, just keep us in y'all prayers. And stuff like this happens, bro. You know, we try to live the best lives we possibly can, but sometimes it don't go as planned. Just pray for us, you know, as we go through this stuff.
Not a fun thing to do the night before your birthday. Happy birthday, Earl. Now, this vague video led many to believe that Earl would become the next NFL player to be accused of domestic violence. When the TMZ report dropped, though, we learned that Earl's wife nearly shot him in the face when she found him cheating on her. She literally caught him in bed with other women and his brother. Now, Thomas's wife said the cheating isn't what infuriated her, but Earl's lack of respect for obeying social distancing guidelines. Earl's idea of social distancing, -9 inches. We will discuss. Let's get sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I do NFL news updates almost every day. The live schedule release tonight is happening on the NFL Network, and we will be live on this YouTube channel. Me, Will Keys, talking about some of the NFL schedule stuff. Not for 3 hours, but for the appropriate amount of time. And for all Patreon subscribers, later this month, we will do a Zoom meeting where you can just bullshit with Will and I for a minute or two. Unless only one of you shows up, then you can talk to us for as long as you want. But I have big dick Patreon shoutouts for Mitch, Andrew Weber, Thomas Limmer, Timothy Jecom Hood, Kaiser Hag with a big $20.15 donation, Steven, Gion DP's Baby Cakes, Brandon doesn't go to Broncos games Perna, it's because I'm busy making videos. Hey, Amber, will you marry me? Ooh, Amber, what are you gonna say? Brandon's wiener doesn't fire blanks. Thank you guys so much for your donations on Patreon. You can support this channel, patreon.com/thatsgoodsports, if you're into that sort of thing. I know Earl is. Okay, according to TMZ, Earl and his wife had an argument, as couples who are forced to stay inside together 24/7 tend to do. Now, Earl's wife, Nina Thomas, had grown tired of Earl's drinking, which is unfortunate for Earl because when my wife gets annoyed with me, she yells, "Why don't you have a drink and lighten up a bit?" So, point for my wife. Now, Earl left his house with his brother, Seth, who picked him up. After Earl left, Nina hacked his Snapchat, saw that he was with another woman, and then tracked his location via Snapchat to an Airbnb. She then grabbed his 9mm Beretta, which also was the name of one of the women he was with, probably, and drove to the Airbnb to confront Earl. When she arrived, she found him naked, in bed with his brother and other women. That's the quote from TMZ or from what they obtained from the police reports.
And stuff like this happens, bro. You know, just pray for us, you know, as we go through this stuff.
Wait, what are we praying for, Earl? That you have safer sex adventures in the future and that your wife never finds out? I'm not a religious man, but I don't think God answers orgy prayers. The Greeks and Romans really ruined that for the rest of us. Now, I love that it says she found Earl naked in bed with his brother, Seth, first, and then ends with other women. Imagine if only the first part of that story were true. We'd be sitting on top of the first NFL story to surpass Antonio Brown's antics. Although, I'm still waiting for the day when Giselle finds Tom Brady in bed with the Tom Brady mannequin. Yeah, So what? I make love to a doll that looks like me. What's so wrong with that, Giselle? I won 6 Super Bowls. Am I not a man with needs? Am I not a man who bleeds? Well, he doesn't. That's just my handsome, beautiful sex doll, Tom Brady. Now, Nina arrived at the orgy B&B at 3:40 a.m. with 2 of her friends. Those are true friends. Only real friends show up with you in the middle of the night to help you possibly kill your cheating husband. Think about that the next time your friend asks you to help him moving. Now, according to the police report, one of her friends had a knife and she wielded it during the altercation. When Nina, and I say this for dramatic effect, came in, kicked down the orgy doors like a member of the SWAT team, she pointed the gun at the pile of sex that had just happened and yelled, "I got something for all of you hoes," which was a gun. The thing that she had for them hoes was a gun. Never mix firearms with gardening tools, in my opinion. Now, Nina had taken the magazine out of the gun but didn't realize it still had a slug in the chamber. So, we are lucky that nothing tragic happened here. Because apparently, with the gun pointed in his face, Earl Thomas had to wrestle the gun away from Nina. There were knives involved, a whole bunch of crazy shit. Obviously, somebody could have been killed or seriously wounded. The worst thing that probably could have happened for Earl would have been to suffer a minor gunshot wound. That's an embarrassing thing to explain every time your gunshot scar is exposed in the locker room. It's really why I stopped playing sports. I wasn't shot, but I did not want to explain the scar on my lower back anymore. I don't need to tell you how my tail was removed, okay? That is between me and my fucking dirty tail, which you will never find because it is buried. Did I leave a map to find the tail? Yeah, but even finding the map is tricky. Some say it's harder to find the map to find my tail than it is to actually find my tail. Oh shit. Nina Thomas was arrested and charged with burglary and intent to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and issued an emergency protective order to stay away from Earl and his alleged lover. Lover, singular. Did Earl only fall in love with one of the girls from the orgy? Or was there just 2 girls there? And if so, why were Earl and Seth in the same bed? The police should have charged them with too many men on the field. The Airbnb business as a whole has been hit hard due to the stay-at-home order, so Earl should be commended for supporting local businesses. Even though that local business is national and it has driven up housing prices for regular people and hurt the hotel industry. Now, the wildest part is that one of the women from the event recorded the attack, or whatever you want to call it, with her phone. Nina Thomas has denied the police's version of the events that TMZ posted, and that video taken with the phone has not been released. But you know damn well TMZ will get their hands on it, and we will all get to see exactly what kind of shitstorm happened in that Airbnb once the video is no longer considered evidence. Here's the only serious thing I want to say about this. Never Snapchat with the women you're about to cheat on your wife with. And do not allow social apps to use your location. It could cost you your life. Also, when you hear a player has been involved in a domestic situation, wait until the details come out before you get on your soapbox about how they should be immediately disciplined by the organization. We live in a culture where we condemn before we have any information, which is bizarre. Don't forget, the Ravens have a zero-tolerance policy edict for domestic violence after Ray Rice. Do not forget that. Your move, Ravens. We'll be watching you. You better fucking suspend and cut Earl Thomas right now, even though I don't know what actually happened here. Ravens, you're on the clock of social morality justice police. Now, don't get me wrong. Usually, domestic situation when a man and woman are involved, it is 100% the man's fault. And even in this situation, you could argue it is Earl Thomas's fault, even though he couldn't control how his wife acted, and what she did was crazy, very crazy. But let the information come out first. That's all I want to see. Is that too much to ask for? Yes, it is. This situation, obviously incredibly different from the Ray Rice situation. And Earl was actually the victim here, and the Orgy Protection Act passed in 2002 gives him the right to privacy. All any of us really needed to know was that his wife was arrested for threatening his life with a gun. Instead, we get every single detail of the story. Many people on Twitter were judging Earl before a single piece of information came out, and none of them had as many orgy jokes as me. Now, after some extra digging on this story, I can confirm the Airbnb Earl stayed at charged him with an additional cleaning fee. Again, today is Earl Thomas's birthday, so I really hope he finds a way to cut loose, celebrate, and relax. Maybe a few drinks with his brother. I'm going to actually send him a few movies I think he'll enjoy as gifts to watch on his birthday. I'm gonna start with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The box set of All in the Family, and Why Women Kill, as a reminder to Earl to never, ever cheat on his wife. I might also send him Donnie Darko, because I don't think he's ever watched Jake Gyllenhaal's finest work. Whenever I'm down, I watch Jake Gyllenhaal, and then Maggie Gyllenhaal in Secretary. I wonder if the Gyllenhaals have ever Airbnb'd together. If you know what I mean. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We got NFL news, updates, jokes, bullshit, every day, every week, sometimes different than the words that I just used. Ha ha ha!